What is going on, everybody? My name's Ryan, the official host of Askreddit Tells, and today we're going to be looking at some r/MaliciousComplaince. But before we do, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to stay up to date on all the latest videos. If it's not in my garbage can, don't throw it away. Okay, Karen, I guess I'll leave all of your trash thrown on the floor as well. This happened before I graduated in college. I was working a part-time housekeeping job for a doctor's office after closing. The most annoying thing was the blatant disregard for the people who worked there. In particular, the woman at the front portions of the office would throw trash everywhere and not put it in the can. Under their desk, the floor would be covered in trash, right around the trash can. And most of the time, I wouldn't even have to change the garbage bag. Just dump the very few pieces that managed to get in the can and then literally crawl around under the desk on my hands and knees, picking up all their crap. I'm talking paper thrown everywhere, old folders they'd clean out from closets, candy wrappers, tuna cans, you're eating tuna in an office, and thousands of peanut shells, to name a few. They just didn't care. The amount of lazy you have to be to throw garbage right beside your can and not in it astounds me. I never complained to anyone about it because I figured it just pissed me off. It'd be less effort to just pick it up. That is, until I got a note, a very passive-aggressive note, from a particular messy woman, letting me know I threw her calendar away and why would I ever do such a thing. 1. The calendar was propped up against her garbage can. That's usually the universal sign of, hey, this needs to be thrown away, and they threw stuff like this away all the time. Why put it there if it isn't trash? 2. There's so much garbage under all your desk every single night. How am I supposed to know when something isn't trash? 3. It isn't my job to determine what is and what isn't to be thrown away. It was my bad that I threw the calendar away because I didn't pay attention to the dates or anything on it. Like I said, there's always shit everywhere. But when I got this note, I was pissed. The nerve after I spent so much unnecessary time cleaning up garbage that you can't be bothered to actually put in your trash cans because you're too lazy. Fine, if it's not in my can, don't touch it. You got it. I won't touch anything that isn't in your garbage can. I left everything that was on the floor exactly where it was and just changed the bags. Needless to say, she didn't like that and complained to my supervisor. My response was, but I was just doing exactly what she told me to do. Shrug. My petty ass was pleased. Edited to say my supervisor told the office manager if they wanted their trash taken out, that they were to put it in the trash can. Otherwise, nothing would be thrown away, with the exception of boxes labeled trash that were too big for cans. Homeless guy takes a cruise. Back during the first Gulf War, my wife and I were engaged and had a wedding and honeymoon cruise to the Caribbean set up. All expenses paid, food, transportation, etc. On those things, they have all-you-can-eat buffets, a nice dining room. Both of us were active military. Well, the military announces they're sending us over to the Gulf. I stayed stateside, but had leave canceled. They ship out 3 days before the wedding/cruise. We were able to reschedule the wedding, cater flowers, reception, DJ, they were all cool, so I called the cruise line and asked to reschedule. They said no, and the tickets were non-refundable. I tried to explain we were active military going to war. Nope, no deal. I speak to a supervisor. Nope. Ask the military to help out. No deal. We knew nobody in the area, and none of our family could take the cruise. We were effed. So we went to a nearby San Francisco, went to the worst area, and found the dirtiest, most malnourished homeless 2 people we could find. Lice, bad smell, shopping cart, the whole thing. Give them the tickets and told them to eat well. The only caveat is I want them to send me a postcard so I knew they went. Gave them a stamped address envelope, got a nice card from Martinique. I'll bet the cruise people were bummed. Did you bring food for everyone? Part 2. So this is a continuation of my first post, which the too long didn't read of is, got called out by a teacher for eating in class. Teacher unwittingly agreed that I can bring food if I bring enough for everyone, so I have a buddy bring 3 large pizzas to the window of my classroom in full pizza delivery garb. Cue impromptu pizza party. Too long didn't read for this story at the bottom. So a little background. This takes place junior year of high school in a college credit English/history class that's both of those classes mashed together back to back. First half of the class is primarily taught by English teacher. The second half of the class is primarily taught by a history teacher. English teacher is endlessly amused by my shenanigans. She's younger and has a lot more fun teaching. History teacher's a bit old and more rigid/formal in his teaching style. I enjoy messing with both of them immensely because I was an obnoxious little crap back then. On to the story. After the events of the impromptu pizza party I initiated, English teacher walks up to me after class. Jesus, Bailey the nerd, that was hilarious. The look on the history teacher's face was priceless. I don't think you could ever top that. Is that a challenge? Haha, sure. Suddenly a look of deep contemplation comes onto her face. Maybe I shouldn't have made that a challenge. Aw, she knows me well enough to know that I take challenges personally, and it is a point of pride that I demolish any task I'm told I can't do/am not up to. Too late, English teacher. The challenge has been made. Give me some time to think. Trust me, you'll be surprised. So the stage has been set. The die has been cast. I just have to come up with a plan, set a date, and find accomplices. The plan. My next class after lunch was Spanish class. I spent the whole period hatching my plan. I'm going to need some materials for this plan, so I borrow some props from my Spanish teacher. 4 sombreros and some maracas, then I go out and do some light shopping at the end of the day. The date. In our class, obviously being a college credit class, there was a lot of reading. We were knee-deep in reading some historical fiction that week, and nearly everyone has finished the assigned chapters, or at least the spark notes. Every week when the teachers were grading papers, or just wanted everyone to be quiet for a bit, we'd have half a period of silent reading. This was my target. No lessons were being taught, and just about everyone was caught up in the book. The accomplices. I needed people that weren't shy in the spotlight and enjoyed a good prank, so I obviously went with some band and theater buddies. I was both of those, by the way. It took some time, but I had managed to get people with the appropriate skill sets to enact my plan for co-conspirators. Co-conspirators, not conspirators. And with that, my plan is set. Everything's in place. The day of the plan. The first half of the second part of the class is finished. It's officially silent reading time. I stand up. English teacher, history teacher, class, I have an announcement. You may think it's silent reading time, but I must inform you that I have different plans. Loud western/mariachi trombone intro sounds from the hallway of outside the class. In walks 3 of my co-conspirators, all wearing sombreros. One has a guitar, one has a trumpet, and one has a trombone. My 4th co-conspirator gets up from his seat in the class, dons a sombrero, and whips out the maracas. They all walk to the dead center of the class playing full-on mariachi music. Well, the one with the maracas is giving 110% on them, shaking as vigorously as possible, since he was the only non-musician I had enlisted. I lay out a full nacho bar in the middle of class. Ground beef, cheese, lettuce, sour cream, salsa, enough for 30 kids. English teacher's mouth is hanging eyes, wide open. History teacher's face is in his hands. What I can see of his face, though, is bright red. So, who's up for nachos? Once she regained her composure, well, I'm not going to lie, that was pretty impressive, Bailey the nerd. Alright, everyone grab a plate and get some nachos. The rest of the class was spent munching on nachos. The kids who formed my mariachi band were pardoned for skipping class, because it was a truly worthy cause. I'd give you guys the too long didn't read, but you're here to not read. So, enjoy yourselves, everybody. Middle school mischief. English is my first language, but I have some disabilities in learning, so my punctuation/grammar isn't great. Lots of fun on sentences, so please be nice. Also mobile, so sorry. I don't know if this counts, but this was kind of a team effort between me and my BFF when I was in middle school. So when I was about 12, my best friend and I started being allowed to go to the mall by ourselves. I had a cell phone, and as long as we stayed together, my BFF had a super strict mother who was always obsessed with making her mini-adult, while letting her other siblings go do pretty much whatever they wanted. Well, this was back in the early 2000s, where Hot Topic was still dark and scary, but was one of the few places to get anime merchandise. This started a few weeks before my BFF's birthday. My mom had dropped us off so I could get an idea of what to get her BF for her birthday. So we're walking around Hot Topic and looking at the Naruto stuff when I see a graphic tee with her favorite character on it. Hey BFF, you should get this. Oh, I'm not allowed to have graphic t-shirts. I was confused, because it's just a shirt. It didn't have anything bad on it like some of those political ones. It was just a ninja in a silly pose. He didn't even have weapons. Why aren't you allowed to have t-shirts? Mom says I have to always dress like I would for work and graphic t-shirts aren't appropriate. I really don't like my friend's mom and honestly thought that was dumb because we were 12. No one's looking for a 12-year-old to manage their car dealership. We go around the mall the rest of the day, and every time she sees these shirts with our favorite character on it, I can tell my BFF wants to try them but can't buy them. At one point, I convinced her to text her mom and ask about a cute tank top she wanted with Pikachu on it and told her she could wear it for gym. Nope, big mistake. Her mom flipped. She showed me the texts and, well, they weren't nice. I was furious and then came the fatal text. BFF, I forbid you to buy those shirts. You'll look like a slob, like OP. Oh, now it was on. So we went home and I was still stewing. We never told my BFF's mom that I saw the messages, and I didn't dare tell my mom, but I thought about my dad and thought all the things he has done to tick off people who were rude to him, like that with malicious compliance and mischief. Ding! I then remembered the key words in the text. When it came for me to buy a present for my friends, I bought her all of those shirts that we had seen and a few more. I knew she would love them and wrapped them in a gift box. Fast forward to the party, BFF is opening her gifts and gets to mine. She opens the box and sees all the shirts and her eyes go wide. Instantly her mom is ticked. I can see it through her forced smile because I know her mom is far too polite to deny the gift. I also knew just what to say to get her to not chuck them in the trash immediately after the party. My mom and I thought they were adorable and now we match. Now she knew my mom would expect to see them as well. Later, when we were away from her mom, we laughed a bit about it and she asked me why I got her them. I reminded her that she was forbidden to buy the shirts, not me. For years afterwards, this was our system for getting around her rules. To avoid this getting any longer, here is a quick list of other issues we got around in a similar way, and yes, I either heard my mom say these things or read them through texts. You have too many books you can't buy anymore. I bought her a gift card to a giant bookshop that no longer exists. You can't buy comic books, they'll rot your brain. Bought her about $50 worth of comics. Dungeons and Dragons is for Satan worshippers. Don't you dare buy those books. Cool. Bought her the handbook, a set of dice, and some minis. So yeah, her mom would get super irritated with me, but she also still liked me. I think she likes me, but because she was super religious, didn't like how I was being raised. Because I was a good friend and she thought I was innocent in all her lectures about this stuff, I would never buy anything that was actually bad, just things that were harmless and made her happy. My dad might have also helped us with this as well by buying us our first convention tickets when he heard my mom say that those conventions were for freaks and overweight nerds, which he took as a jab at me. I'm not super skinny, but not fat either. And also helped us out on our costumes together for the convention because her mom refused. So yeah, it's not that exciting I guess, but I still laugh a little. Edit. Wow, this got a lot of attention. Thanks so much, guys. There's no doubt in my mind if it was a major bookstore and is now closed, it has to be Borders. Do any of you guys remember Borders? Let me know in the comment section down below. And that does it for today's episode of r/MaliciousCompliance. Did you like it? Maybe check out some of our other stuff and even subscribe. As always, my name's Ryan Cole, the official host of Askreddit Tells, and I look forward to seeing you guys in tomorrow's video.